I am actually a Marxist-Leninist. I said, why is it that you don't want to platform communists? And Whick proceeded to ask me about the Holodomor. I gave him an opinion. He immediately kicked me off, claiming genocide denial. The next day, I found that my PayPal was banned.
I'm with you on that.
Mr. Deplatform. You sit there all the time and talk about how I'm pro free speech. I hate deplatforming. I'll platform Nazis. I'll platform pedophiles. I'm gonna be happy when you get busted with like a terabyte of child porn. I have no evidence, just like you have no evidence that they didn't.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to yet another episode of Whick TV. This time, with some guests, okay? Guest moderator, Queen Alexa.
Hi. So, yeah, I want to welcome both of you. So it seems that N0nsm0ker has come to me and has had a plethora of issues that he has had with you, Whick, and he wants to discuss them with you on a direct manner. So I want to let N0nsm0ker state like the reason that he wants to talk to you and what his issues are. So N0nsm0ker, I'll let you take the floor.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, so look, it's actually pretty straightforward. I'm surprised there's any confusion, but it started with my main issue with Whick was that we were on a panel together. I kind of felt like, hey, Whick does lots of panels, right? But I figured, okay, maybe he remembers who I was. It was sort of a kind of a wacky performance. It was actually through Queen Alexa that we did the panel. And it was about platforming Nazis. And I am actually a Marxist-Leninist. I'm a real communist. But I know what most people on the internet conceive Marxist-Leninists to be. It's like ultra-triggered, psychotic, borderline, like, almost fascistic people. And so Queen Alexa kind of reached out to me and said, hey, would you mind taking a dissenting opinion on this panel? Everybody basically agrees on it. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll ham it up, I'll make it entertaining or whatever. And I did such. In the process of the panel, though, I kind of felt like, okay, Whick, was disagreeing with me a lot. I was like, maybe this is an entry to further discussion at some point, but whatever. I didn't really reach out to him. And then kind of arbitrarily, like months later, I went in Whick's Discord. I was like, hey, what can I do to get on one of your shows? Because you're hosting lots of panels. You have all pretty much the same few people on all the time with a couple other random people mixed in there. So I was like, Whick, what can I do to get on? And he said, oh, DM me, tell me what your credentials are, whatever, and, I'll let you know when I have a spot. So I did such, never heard back. And then some time went by, and I still hadn't heard back. So I see Whick does a call-in show every Tuesday. So I figured, why not call in? Why not call in and do a little bit of like an entertaining sort of like, Whick says in his call-in shows, feel free to yell at me. So I figured, why not go in there and engage, with a little bit of like energy, right? And I was in the waiting room, and I found myself waiting there for quite some time. And I found myself kind of feeling like, this is sort of like starting to feel like maybe this failure to platform me could actually be connected to my political beliefs. Like maybe it's just that Whick doesn't like talking to communists. Maybe there's something like, going on here. And so I figured I'd press him on that. When I finally got on the call-in show, I pressed Whick. I said, why is it that you don't want to platform communists? And Whick proceeded to ask me about the Holodomor. I gave him an opinion, and he immediately kicked me off, claiming genocide denial. Which is so ridiculous because I didn't come on to talk about the Holodomor. If he didn't want to bring that up, he shouldn't have asked me about it. But he asked me about it, probably hoping I would say that so that he could kick me off. After he kicked me off, a few of his scumbag chatters came into my stream and were trolling, which is fine. I get trolls all the time. But the next day, I found that my PayPal was banned because somebody reported it. Can't help but assume there's a connection there. I don't think Whick personally did that, but someone from his community definitely did. So I guess my issues would be three things. One, Whick, why do you not platform communists? Two, if you didn't want to talk about genocide denial, why did you ask me about the Holodomor? And three, what do you have to say for your community?
Okay,
all right, Whick, I will now let you respond.
Sure, it's going to be a real short conversation if that's your issues, right? So one, why do I not platform communists? I platform communists. OmniSlap, Ninetales, right, is communist. Corey Campbell is some form of communist, socialist, I'm not sure, kind of a hybrid, I think. There's quite a few, right, that I've had on regularly on my show that are not capitalists, right? They're communists. I think the closest I've had to a Marxist-Leninist is Omnislap, right? But I have people who are close. Dr. K, right? Yell at your mayor, Dr. K, is one of them. Again, these people are invited. They come on my show regularly, actually. So that's to the first point. To the second point, right? Why do what was the second point again? Like, remind me.
Why would you ask me about the Holodomor?
Oh, because
someone,
one of my chatters said, ask him about the Holodomor, and I was like, okay, that's literally it. That's all. Someone in Aurelian in my chat, they're claiming it, and so they're letting me, they're consenting to me telling you who they were. But Aurelian in my chat was like, ask him about the Holodomor. I was like, okay, why not? And I did. That's it. Simple.
So you're saying that you asked me that simply on a whim from a chatter,
Yes.
and then you decided to ban me because
I
of
didn't
kick me from the call, is because I didn't answer the right way. You claimed it was because genocide denial, which I assume is like a TOS thing. Is that where you were going with that?
Yes, but to be clear, everyone in the call-in show gets kicked eventually. Everyone. It's a stick. If you've seen it before,
Does
I
everybody
say,
get kicked?
go to the void, and I kick them. Try to do it when they least expect it. That's
What's
the
your
whole
response to
stick.
this PayPal thing? So let's
Sure, no, I'll get into the PayPal thing. Like, what? Like, I had no idea that your PayPal had been deplatformed. And if it did get deplatformed, I have started today the ANTIDA Action Committee, the Anti-Deplatforming Action Committee. And so we will help you get your PayPal back if you'd like. Because no one in my community...
It's a permaban. Whick, it's a permaban. You can stop hamming it up. Look, I'm not blaming you individually for the PayPal getting banned. Obviously, I don't think you had anything to do with that. And I do want to go back to the whole kicking me off thing, because I sort of feel like you're being a little dishonest in terms of, okay, I believe you that Aurelian did suggest that, because Aurelian came into my chat later and decided to, engage in the same argument with me. But what it seems to me is you picked that question for one reason or another. You found an answer that seemed to leave you an opening to have plausible reason to just kick me. Because it's supposedly violating TOS. Like, you kind of asked me a question that you knew would potentially violate TOS, and then hoped that I would, and I did, and then you kicked me for that reason. Probably because you didn't like the way that I was engaging or something, or you wanted to move on to some other bull.
Because it was funny, to be clear.
Yeah.
Because it was funny. Because it made me laugh and giggle, right? To kick you like that, because you're a big guy, and that's funny.
Yeah, well, listen, I don't know how to tell you this any other way. But I kind of find none of your content funny, and nothing you do entertaining.
Sure, don't watch it.
Like, I think you're like a pretty terrible entertainer all around. I don't really get the humor in like making panels about animals and kids and stuff. I don't know why you're into that.
To be clear,
seems really weird to me.
Yeah.
But okay, whatever. I mean, like, this is a weird platform. There's a lot of weird people. You got like children's toys behind you. I don't know what's going on in your head, but. At the end of the day, for me, man, I come on here to have serious political discussions, and I happen to feel like the deplatforming.
Yo, Smugbug, thank you for the raid. 73 individuals.
Doing that. See, listen, 73 individuals. Here's what this absolute sloppy does. He doesn't like anyone making a point like that's valid. He won't even let them finish. He's just gonna shout over them about his stupid donations, and rather than listen to any kind of criticism that might be warranted against him. But yeah,
is this true, Whick?
I'm giving you the floor.
Community can get my banned.
How much? Like,
no,
look,
you sit there,
this is a serious question.
Time.
What more do
you
you
sit
want
there
from
all
me?
the time and talk about how I'm pro free speech. I hate deplatforming.
Yeah.
I'll platform Nazis. I'll platform pedophiles. I'll platform anyone.
I'm
but then a
platforming
communist
you.
comes along and you're like, I don't want to platform you. No. See,
what do you think this is? What do you think I'm doing?
You.
I'm letting you on the show specifically.
I DM'd you. You ignored my DM. You ignored my DM.
Do you have any idea how many DMs I get?
Queen Alexa set this up. Do you
know how many DMs I get a day? More like 20, 30 people, all
Wow, 20 DMs.
usually asking, right?
So you saw Queen Alexis, but not mine.
Can I be on your show, right?
So you saw Queen Alexis, but not mine, is what you're saying.
I did see Queen Alexis, not yours, because Queen Alexa.
No, you didn't want to see mine.
Hates
bro.
me.
You didn't want to see mine.
And I wanted to know what Queen Alexa was going to about to me today. That's fine, right? Look, you are taking things personally in a really weird way. In a really weird way.
No,
like,
no.
if you
I'm really
didn't
not.
think I'd be
banned because of your community. That's why I'm taking it personally. You fucking moron.
Look, some of my community are dumbasses. I'll be
with
you. I'm with you on that. Like, I'm with that.
PayPal permanent ban.
If anyone on my community, let me be clear.
Mr. Deplatform.
You got it. You got to let me finish, man. You got to.
Here, let's let Whick respond to you. Let's let Whick respond to you.
So I want to be clear. If any one of you motherfuckers in my platform are deplatforming anyone for any reason, cut that shit out. Stop it. It's not okay. That's not what we do here. If you have a problem with someone, address them directly, or just don't watch their shit. Don't watch their show. That's all you need to do. It's easy. Does that satisfy you, sir?
Honestly, it would have been sweet if you did that before the PayPal got banned.
What are you talking? I do this like this is my brand, dude. This is my brand.
Whick. So, you know, I don't know how familiar you are with like Marxism or whatever, but Marxists tend to think that like ideas don't really spread by like telling people to do certain things and then they just do it. Marxists seem to think that idea is the way people feel. They develop from like real life circumstances, right? And that's where they get their beliefs from, and that their beliefs determine their actions.
It's called
materialism, right? You're familiar with that? Okay, good. So listen. So listen. So then you know, let me bring it all home for you, because you're such a big brain guy here. You know, you're way ahead of the curve.
Kind of stupid.
So look, my point is, don't you think it says something about the community that you've formed here? That they're the kind of people who, despite you preaching, don't deplatform constantly, that these are the people who, as soon as they encounter someone they don't like, they immediately want to try to deplatform them. Don't you think that speaks to, one, the content you make, the kind of people you're actually attracting? And two, you know, in general, this environment we have on Twitch, which supposedly you oppose, which is censorship first.
Yeah, I oppose that. And like I said, the community I'm attracting, there's a lot of people who watch me because they hate me, or they don't like me, or they want to yell at me. I encourage that, to be honest with you. I encourage a diversity of thought in my community. Now, again, as I just said, deplatforming is not tolerated by me in my community. And if I find out you're doing it, we're going to make fun of you, right? Like, we're going to make you content, okay? But I honestly doubt it was anyone in my community. Like, can you give me some evidence? Like, can you show me a screenshot?
Okay, obviously, no, Whick. Obviously, I can't give you evidence if PayPal perma-bans me. They don't explain why. There's been some strike or mark against me, probably connected to the content I'm making. But it just so happens that occurs immediately after I went and talked to you.
It rained the other day, and then I stubbed my toe. Oh my God, the rain gods are mad at me.
I've never had any reports or strikes against me. Nobody's ever mentioned a thing that I've done. And then suddenly I talk to you, and then I get banned. Again, I don't think you personally had anything to do with it, but I do think this says something about the community that you've attracted. And what you're basically telling me is like, well, you know, all kinds of people watch me. And what I'm trying to get at here is like, you've created not a diverse platform. You've created a platform where you talk about just useless, toxic, stupid bullshit. And basically, you guys sit
I'll
around,
accept that. There's some days.
Okay, well, you don't want to let me finish. You sit around and you guys, you know, self-masturbate. All of you. It's not just you. It's all these on Twitch. All of these on Twitch. Prime Kai, Stardust, all of these people, you want to sit around like, oh, you know, we're really trying to help people and change people's perspectives. And, you know, we really are against deplatforming. But the people you attract through the discourses you have, the people you attract are the kind of people who want to deplatform right the way. These are the same people who got Jackson Hinkle kicked off this platform. They're the same people who got Destiny and Vosh and Infrared, all of them banned off this platform because they complained and bitched and reported and whatever.
Is it my turn?
No. No, because I'm trying to get across to you a point that I don't think is occurring to you. That you and the other creators on Twitch PolPot, you've attracted a community of like toxic trolls who just report people first without engaging them.
All right, Whick, now respond.
Okay. There's a lot, and I'm going to try to be as concise as possible here, but bear with me. Brevity is not one of the talents that I have. When it comes to the type of community I attract, right, I just don't believe you, right? I don't believe you when you say it was my community who got you deplatformed. And I would like, again, some evidence other than X happened and then Y occurred. It has to be more than that. One day, I was out, it started to rain, and then I stubbed my toe. The rain gods must be mad at me. Rain caused me to stub my toe. That's such a silly argument to make. That's such a silly argument to make. It has no bearing in reality. It has no bearing in what I have done. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. My platform's small. I'm a small streamer boy. It absolutely is, but not for the reasons you think, buddy. Right? Like this idea that I am somehow increasing
you are an intellectually frail retard. I'll give you.
Sometimes we do bullshit things. Like sometimes we talk about bullshit meme panels because it's fun.
Bro. All the time. You've never talked about anything of substance ever.
You know what? Agree to disagree.
Name once. Name one time recently you've talked about anything of substance.
We talked about gender abolition recently. We talked about.
Wow. What does that mean? Wait. Hold on.
What does gender abolition
let's go piece by piece. What was the discussion about gender abolition?
Whether
Could you tell me the substance
gender has a role in modern society? Does gender have a role in modern culture, or should it have a role in modern culture?
Wow, okay,
I think
so
that's
basically
an interesting discussion.
An extremely general topic with really no criteria of like one way or another how you should answer that, or like you could basically just spout off at the mouth about whatever and nothing will come of that conversation, correct? And nobody has to prove anything they say, it's just all random matter of opinion bullshit.
I think knowing people's opinions is important as a first step in order to make change. Knowing what people actually think about a topic is step one. I do not pretend that my panels are going to change the world, right?
Yeah, here's
but
the
what
thing,
I want to do,
Whick.
can I tell you the goal of my channel? Is that
No, here's the thing.
Here, let finish.
Okay, I'll just real quick and I'll be done, right? The goal of my channel is to expose people to a diversity of opinions that they may not hear otherwise and to give them serious airing if they wish. Does that always happen? Unfortunately not. Sometimes we do meme panels because it's funny. But that's the goal of my channel in a nutshell. Expose people to different ideas. That's it.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't even attack you on your first point. To be honest with you, the communist streamers or communist people, commentators you mentioned, are just not people I'm familiar with at all. You mentioned 1ML. I do happen to think that people on this platform absolutely refuse to engage MLs on anything. And if they do, it's basically just troll the Tankie thing. And I've gotten that on every panel, on every person I've engaged with on this platform, pretty much overall. But whatever, you know, maybe that's just part of like the culture of Twitch now. You know, they got rid of the few big Tankie streamers, and it's just like a quote unquote like
PA is still there, isn't he? He's a Tankie, isn't he? Am I wrong? Well, I could be wrong. I don't know.
I don't think he's categorized that way. I don't think he's a Marxist-Leninist. I could be wrong about that too. But as far as I know, he's not seriously. I mean, do you feature him on panels often?
He won't come on my show. If he wanted to come on my show, if Mike PA wanted to come on my show, we would love to have him. But he doesn't do that because he does his Fortress Arc thing. Like if you name for me, if you get me in touch, and I'm being serious with you here, if you get me in touch with who you consider to be Marxist, serious Marxist-Leninists who are willing to obey TOS, I will have them on.
Okay, I'll obey TOS. First of all, the Holodomor thing, we could get into a whole debate about that, but let's avoid it because you apparently are really uncomfortable about it, even though you want to bring it up. But I'm a Marxist-Leninist, and I haven't had any issues with TOS before, even talking about the Holodomor.
Fair, right? But that doesn't mean that you won't in the future, right? And again, like I said,
is that your
if you
reason for
wanted
not
to
bringing
be
me
on my show, I'm not. Let me address this: your personal beef, okay? That I'm ignoring you. I am not ignoring you. I am not ignoring you. If I was ignoring you, I wouldn't be here with you talking to you right now, letting you take the reins to air the
that
issue.
wasn't. It honestly wasn't my personal beef.
Then what's your personal beef? Be more clear.
My personal beef is that I think you're well aware of who I am, and you're well aware I want to come on, and you're purposely not platforming me for political reasons.
What is this?
Two,
What is this?
Okay.
Like, how am I not platforming you? You
Whick,
had the
this
show.
happened-
You were
this
my only
happened-
guest.
This happened because A, you framed this as schizo-tanky content or whatever, and B, this didn't happen because you wanted to platform me initially. This happened because Queen Alexa set it up. After one of your piece of chatters got my fucking PayPal banned.
I promise you.
And the whole idea that like, oh, it's raining and it happened. Dude, you're so full of shit. Do you not see how those two things are different? Me coming on to your stream briefly, getting kicked for a controversial topic that you baited me into talking about, and then I get my fucking banned the next day.
Which chatter banned your PayPal or got your?
Who was the person who asked me the question? Listen.
Are you accusing 𝕬𝖎𝖙? I just want to be clear. Are you accusing 𝕬𝖎𝖙 of getting your platform?
I have no idea who it was. I don't have evidence of that. Obviously, I don't. How would I have evidence of that, Whick?
And this is why I think you're making a huge leap and a huge assumption.
It's seriously not a huge leap. It might be a leap without evidence, but it's not a huge leap. It's actually a very logical deduction.
Look, most of my, I'm gonna be real with you, and this isn't a dig, right? This isn't a dig. I'm a small boy streamer too. Most of my chat don't know who the f you are.
No, yeah, I get that, Whick. I get that they didn't know who the fuck I was until I went on and talked to you. Okay, that's why I got your chatters, including 𝕬𝖎𝖙, in my chat, who were trolling me immediately after we talked.
Okay, I mean, like, yeah, they're gonna do that.
Okay, yeah, and then I got my PayPal banned.
I promise you, like, again, that didn't happen. My chatters did not do that.
My PayPal got banned.
My chatters did not do that.
Okay, well, Whick, you have just as much evidence as I do.
I didn't do that. My chatters didn't do that.
You have just as much evidence as I do.
Shit, my whole platform
you have just as much evidence as I do,
saying,
right?
Don't do this.
You have just as much evidence as I do, right? Right? You're demanding evidence from me, and you have none.
I have more circumstantial evidence.
No, you have none. Can you acknowledge that?
Look, no hard evidence. I'll give you that.
No, you have no
evidence.
Right. So then it goes down to, you know, what you think or what you feel or what you can reasonably prove without the necessary evidence that would normally be there or normally be needed to prove such a claim. And what I'm saying is my claim seems to make a lot more sense, that one of your chatters got upset about something I said, probably because they support Ukraine in the war, probably because they're anti-tankies for that reason, probably this, that, and the other. They're a sensitive loser who never leaves their house, and they decide to come into my chat, argue with my chatters and me, and then it just so happens that my PayPal, coincidentally, like the rain, got banned the next fucking day. Okay, it's pretty
my
logical
chatters
to
have that
assume
kind
there's a
of pull,
connection
buddy.
there.
Like none of my chatters have that kind of pull.
These platforms. Okay, listen to me clearly. PayPal bans people for political that they say online all the time. It happened to Jackson Hinkle. It happens to lots of streamers. Okay, so it's actually not that like insane to assume someone would report me to PayPal for the speech that I'm saying. It's like hate speech or here's a question for you. Do you think anything that I said in my conversation with you could be considered like hate speech or, you know, fascistic or evil or whatever?
Evil?
Okay, so
but no,
well,
I don't think it's anything bannable. Like
well,
I said,
probably,
even from no, give me a second. When we were on the shit show, right? Queen Alexa hosted, and the brief time we spent talking on my show, in neither of those incidences did you say anything that I think could even get you banned.
Yeah, me too. Until I encountered your chatters.
What are they gonna do? Like, again, can you be clear with your accusation? So if I'm hearing you correctly, and I hope I am, right? I hope I am. I hope I'm not misinterpreting you. You are saying that we had to talk on my show. You came on my show. You got mad at me. I kicked you out. You're saying that they went to your chat. They found something that they felt could get you deplatformed. They clipped it, reported it to PayPal.
I'm stopping you. No, you said if you're totally misunderstanding me. Let me ask you a question. What did you ask me? What did you say to me after I gave you my take on the Holodomor before you kicked me out?
I said we can't have that on this on Twitch.
No. You didn't. You said
what did I say?
Genocide denial and kicked me out. That is grounds to get someone's PayPal banned. genocide denial. If somebody reported me for genocide denial, which is ludicrous, by the way, but we don't have to get into that. But to report me for genocide denial because of something probably based on what you said in their own beliefs to PayPal, PayPal reads that as genocide denial. They don't know if it's I'm denying the Holocaust or something like that. You know, they don't know that I have a nuanced view of a famine that happened almost 100 years ago.
That PayPal takes would take me telling people that I kicked you out because I think it violates Twitch toss.
How does it work? How does it work? How does it work? Because people get banned for this online literally
I get it,
all the time.
And we fight against that. We say that's bad.
Okay, but how does it work if it doesn't work like as you're describing? Somebody just would report me.
I just find it I am incredulous of the claim, right? That they took my words and my clip and said that and PayPal used that as justification to ban you. I just don't see that happening.
No, you're not understanding. What I'm saying, you're not getting the connection, you to your chatters, to the probable reporting that happened. What I'm saying is your part in this equation, which I admit is honestly limited, right? I really don't think that you sent your horde of minions after me. But when you say to me, genocide denial, I'm trying to get across to you the idea that somebody reporting me was not about something I said on my stream later to my chat. In our little interaction, you saying I'm a genocide denier and then kicking me off the call it's likely gave someone the idea that, like, hey, I'm going to report this guy because I don't like him, and I bet you I could get him banned if I say he's a genocide denier, rather than, oh, he has some weird take about Russia and the famines and this and that and the other. No, he's a genocide denier. That's a serious, serious charge, and it's definitely grounds to get someone PayPal banned. And that's why my PayPal got banned. There's no other reason.
I don't know what you do on your off time. I don't know what else you engage in. I honestly
you can watch all my VODs. You can watch my VODs.
I could, but I haven't.
Yeah, but you could, and I can tell you that I don't say anything, and you can watch it for proof.
But again, if you had done something, right, that was toss related, that got PayPal to take you down, my channel would have gotten hit too, because you said it on my channel. My channel would have gotten hit too.
Whick, when they reported me, there's no reason to assume that they reported me and said I only said it on Whick's stream. That's not how it works. What they would do is contact PayPal and say this user is engaging in genocide denial and receiving money for what they're doing through PayPal. You should ban them. And they probably would ban me without even looking into it, because you know that fucking happens all the time.
Look, I guess if you had enough mass reporters, maybe, right? But I don't see this connection. I really don't see that. I'm being honest with you. I don't see the connection to the 2 or 3 people in my chat that came over to troll you, them organizing a mass reporting campaign. Where? Can you point to where they called for your mass reporting?
No, I have no evidence that people from your community did this, just like you have no evidence that they didn't.
Okay, but you're making the accusation.
Yes, I'm making a logical assumption that it was probably someone from your community, because my PayPal got banned and I haven't engaged in anything TOS whatsoever. And I haven't even engaged any other streamers in any aggressive way or done anything to draw the ire of other communities on Twitch whatsoever. I'm a small streamer. I might get, 10 to 20 chatters depending on the night, maybe a little more, maybe a little less depending on how slow it is. So it just so happens that the one time I engage Whick, that I get suddenly a bunch of people in my chat the same night at me, and then the next day my PayPal gets banned, and you're acting like it's a ridiculous conclusion to draw.
It's ridiculous.
And it's not, because
it's funny.
How do you think the PayPal got banned, Whick?
I have no idea.
I work with children, so it's like, look, when they break something, it's
dude,
like,
I don't even know if your PayPal actually got banned. I have no idea. I don't care.
Would you like to see a screenshot?
I'll
you don't care.
Okay.
Oh no, so I have proof, but you don't care about the
proof.
Show
me this. DM me this.
Oh sure. Now
DM me
that's all you had to do was ask, Whick. That's all you had to do.
I asked. Show me the screenshot, please.
You did it,
Okay.
Wick. You did. Yes.
Let's see. You want a screenshot, eh?
This is exactly what I wanted this to be as well. I love this.
So yeah, what are you guys going around mass reporting people? If you're doing that, stop it right now. I don't think you did, to be honest. I think this is silly of him to claim. I think this is the wildest accusation, the second wildest accusation I've received this week. Okay, second.
After we do this, I want to get to the point where non-smoker was saying your panels. Such
Yeah,
as
I want to hear about that too. So.
Yeah, I want to go through that as well. But I'll let this PayPal one be concluded between you two because this is very serious.
Fucking.
You can't use PayPal
I mean, is that
anymore.
not like sufficient evidence? I could show you the email too if you'd like.
Fair enough. I'll take it. Right. I'm sorry your PayPal got banned. That's bullshit. And we should get reinstated.
Yeah.
Cool.
You were willing to go so far as to basically say, I'm making it up to protect your community from the fact that
I just don't
maybe there's
dude, you're making a lot of claims.
maybe you have a horde of dumb scumbag trolls in your community because half your panels are about completely unserious, vile bullshit that they decide, hey, on a whim, we're just going to someone because we have, plausible moral reason to. Oh, he's a genocide denier. We can get him banned, and it doesn't matter. Whick told us not to ban the Nazis, but we can ban the Tankie genocide denier.
This is ridiculous, my friend. It's ridiculous.
It's really not. It's really not. Because all you guys listen. When I went, it's so weird. Because when I went on that panel about platforming Nazis, it did occur to me. I was like, you know what? About half the people in here are like completely unseriously saying in one breath, we should definitely platform Nazis. We should fucking, tell them that they're wrong and then they'll change their mind because we're really good rhetorically. And then in the same breath saying, no, this non-smoker guy is crazy. He should be thrown in a gulag and ban him. Now, I know I was hamming it up.
to ban you on that.
No, there was. Well, I would play the tape back, Alex. I mean, I think that there's plenty of evidence, like of people saying that I should be kicked off the platform because I was suggesting that other people should be silenced. But this is the contradiction of liberalism. You see, the way it works is you guys want this totally open discourse where everything is permitted and everybody can just speak whatever they want, and that's the best way to get the best ideas, right? Marketplace of ideas. But what happens in actuality, if anybody suggests something in that discourse which contradicts the theme of openness, then you have to silence them, thus becoming a paradox, right? It's not actually a fully open discourse. Exactly.
I agree. It's bullshit. Look, if you can find me, or anyone, this is a challenge to not just you, but to anyone, please. If you can find me a clip of me, right, whether it be a tweet, whether it be a Discord message, whether it be a DM, whether it be on any show, my show, or anyone else's show, of me calling for someone to be deplatformed, give it to me, and I will recant. I will,
repent for your
repent
sins.
for my sins, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, but I challenge you. You ain't gonna find that. That's not what we tell people. That's not what I tell people to do. I don't engage in that paradox of tolerance. That's not me. Learn who you're talking to. Learn who you're talking to.
Oh. So okay, so let's conclude the PayPal. So what non-smoker is saying is that people from your community got his PayPal reported after saying it was genocide denial. So obviously, I think non-smoker holds this belief. I want to get to the platforming thing. So non-smoker, you're saying that Whick is having plans about dog and all of these horrible, horrible things. What are you saying, this non-smoker?
Well, I mean, look, okay, in all fairness to Whick, I don't watch every single panel. Okay, so I should say that. If he's having, like, really detailed foreign policy, like, discourses on every other night, and I'm just missing them, like, okay, fair enough. Maybe there's something that I'm not privy to, right? But every time I do watch one of Whick's panels, and it's maybe even a little unfair to pick on Whick because it's kind of ubiquitous across Twitch, Twitch poll adjacent sort of communities. Almost all of these panels are completely unserious, ridiculous bullshit. And when they're not, when they're supposed to be critically engaged, they're about drama, or they're about things like what Whick mentioned before, like these very vague, amorphous discourses about gender, where you could just say anything and no real conversations of substance happen whatsoever. And it's a real shame because it's really dumbed down the platform, which is saying something. It was always kind of dumb. It's even dumber now. Like, nobody talks about anything serious. Nobody talks about any, like, meaningful, debates between two. Like, when I've done Russia-Ukraine debates, they're always on very small or much smaller channels or communities, where people are actually still trying to talk about that stuff. Whick has got kind of a platform here, and he'll never talk about anything that's, like, seriously controversial, that you might need evidence to support, that, like, is somehow like an in-depth kind of discussion. Instead, it's all like, vague streamer drama. Should we be nice to people who, love concentration camps? Should we children, hypothetically, if they're cartoon characters? Or should we animals? And like,
wow,
Whick,
wow.
I don't get where this child stuff is coming in. I've never done a panel on that. I have done a panel on dog. Sure.
You've never done maps panels? You've never done maps panels?
I went on someone else's panel, right? I did a panel once about how to treat them, but we didn't have any maps on. We didn't have any pro-maps people. Like, it was a discussion about how society should treat these people. I think that's a serious discussion, right, to be had. But I have never hosted a panel where there were maps on them.
Is it really a serious discussion on how to treat someone who's a child molester? Like, why are we sitting around?
No,
scratching
we're not
our
talking
heads,
about
trying
child
to figure out what
molesters.
to
We're
do
talking
with
about
that.
maps with they're different, right?
Oh, so potential child molesters.
Yeah. No, it's a serious question. Like, talking about, for example, how we should treat bad guys in general, prisoners in general, how we should treat murderers. How should we treat murderers? That's a serious discussion to be had. Do you disagree? Like prison reform?
Yeah, I do. I don't think anything of substance can come out of that discussion because we have laws against people who molest children.
How do you think laws happen? Like, do you think laws don't?
They don't happen on Twitch, Whick. They don't happen on Twitch, dude. They don't. They're never going to. Nobody's ever going to take these discourses seriously about a bunch of shut-ins talking about what you should hypothetically do if someone's going to a child. Why would anybody listen to you guys? You're all completely unserious people for most of the time.
So is your criticism we don't have as many serious panels, but there's a paradox in what you're saying. No one takes us seriously, yet you want us to be serious.
No, Whick, it's not a paradox. You're trying to turn it into a paradox. Nobody takes you seriously because you guys are not serious. That's the issue.
What would you like to see?
Serious,
name the topic you want me to do that you feel is serious.
Well, how about the recession that's coming?
The recession that's coming in America?
Yeah, 2023. Almost definitely.
Whether or not we are almost definitely going to be in a recession?
Goldman Sachs seems to think so. So do most analysts.
Fair enough.
Do you think you could? Assemble? Do you think honestly, Whick?
I get a Conaboy. I could get a.
Do you think? Hold on. Let me ask you a question because you're naming people I haven't even asked. Do you think you could really assemble like 8 people who could have that discussion and do it in depth?
6. I do 6 people these days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I guess I'd like to see that. I guess I'd like to see that, and I guess I'd like to see it not be like Wikipedia reading, and I guess I'd like to see it be people who actually disagree.
I could do that. I guarantee you. You guys underestimate the amount of networking I'm able to do. I think you do. Like not all of them are going to be PhDs. I'm going to tell you that, right? But if you want some serious economic talk, now I'm going to tell you right now, right, that's going to be one of my less viewed shows.
Yep.
It is.
Yep.
It's just going to be one of my less viewed shows.
Yeah, and so I'm going to bring it all home now because this is perfect.
Bring it all home.
This is perfect. This is the same thing that the dumbasses in my chat say to me that are like, oh my God, but nobody wants to talk. Well, how is it that those 4 streamers I mentioned before, 𝕑𝖎, Destiny, Jackson Hinkle, 𝕑𝖎 from Infrared, they all had, by and large, serious political discussions all the time, and they on Twitch.
𝕑𝖎 had serious political discussions
all the time, dude. He had debates all the time, in-depth debates. But if you don't want to count 𝕑𝖎, why don't we just say 𝕑𝖎? Why don't we say Destiny? Why don't we say Jackson Hinkle?
Have you watched Destiny's content lately?
Okay, Whick, you're missing the point.
I don't know if I am.
No, you are. Because Destiny and 𝕑𝖎 and Jackson Hinkle all have serious political discussions. Maybe it's not 100% of what they do, but it's a significant portion, and yet they get way, way, way more viewers than you do. So it's probably not about it not being serious. Maybe it's the people who are doing it who are being serious aren't entertaining or interesting.
That's possible too, right? Like, look, I'm with you. Like,
that's just what it is.
If you watch like podcasts and things that people have, like Lex Friedman podcast, let's use that as an example, right? Let's talk about someone huge, okay? Not just these little itty bitty streamers. Let's talk about someone huge, like Lex Friedman. I would consider him pretty huge. I think that yes, there is a market out there for very serious, calm discussion. I've had serious, calm discussions. Check out my interview with Aristocracy. I would encourage you to look at the interview I did with Aristocracy and tell me that wasn't a serious discussion.
I'll check it out. But Whick,
okay.
It doesn't have to be calm, but it has to be serious. It has to be people actually, you know, using primary sources, secondary sources, you know, actually researching the shit that they're talking about, things that have to be backed up instead of just these endless shouting matches about things that you can just make up as you go along.
We had a whole panel on, we had two, well, no, only one, but 1.5 on peer review. Okay. Like, that was a 𝕾𝖍𝖎𝖙𝖘𝖍𝖔𝖜 came on, 𝕾𝖍𝖎𝖙𝖘𝍍𝖚 came on. They were both, we had people who were either PhD candidates or worked in the scientific community come on, and they had it wasn't a calm debate, but it was a serious debate about these things. Like, this happens on my show. It's not all dog all the time. There are serious and silly. I think there's a place for both. I don't think it all should be serious. I don't think everything I do should be serious. That would be boring. I want to mix it up. And sometimes I want to meme, and I think that's okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm not familiar with the peer review panel,
yeah, I obviously not, right?
And the peer review panel, I'm curious as to what you could possibly disagree with other than maybe methods of peer review.
Is peer review even helpful was the concept. There's evidence to suggest it's not. And in fact, it's counterproductive. A lot of people would disagree with that. But there's serious scientific debate about whether the concept of peer review is doing more harm than good.
Okay. Well, I'll offer you this then. Perhaps this could be thought of as friendly criticism, if nothing else.
Sure.
That maybe you should work on being more serious and that being the focus of your content, because being half serious, half dog, I feel like is holding you back, because the dog stuff makes the serious stuff look way less serious.
It's
way less serious.
Putting me in a kennel maybe of content.
Yeah, way less serious, dude.
Well, that's fine. If you think
no normal person would ever want to have a serious discussion with anyone, well, with a person about anything who also wants to talk about animals.
But that's not true.
No, it is true.
I'm having Friday. I'm having Brianna Wu on. Right? She's serious. She's a big name. Okay,
no. When I say known like person, I mean like a regular person in the world. You know, like, do you have a job?
What? Not currently. Well, this is my job currently.
Oh, okay. See, that explains it. Listen, no knock on you, because honestly, I would love to be in your position. But I happen to have a serious job. Lots of people on Twitch who watch. Well, I don't know. I guess it depends. Some people are young. Some people are not working right now.
Well, it's not with PayPal anymore, but go on.
Okay. See, and, well, listen, man. You seem to think that that's funny, but half of your brand is about deplatforming. And, you know, it's really, really unbelievable that, like, you're going to turn that into, like, some kind of trolling shit and not act like deep down you're happy. You're happy that I got deplatformed.
I'm laughing because this is funny. It's so look, I like ridiculous humor.
This is what Queen Elixir told me about.
I like ridiculous
humor. You're basically a piece of shit. You're basically a piece of shit.
I've just
this whole time you're acting like you feel bad about it, and actually you don't feel bad about it. You're happy about it.
I know.
What, Whick? You know what, Whick? I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be happy when you get busted with like a terabyte of child porn. Oh my God! Whick's in jail. Whick's in jail. Whick's in jail. Whick's in jail. Whick's in jail.
I don't have like.
I need that clip. I need this clip. Okay. Someone clip that for me. I need that right now.
That's gonna be the best of my life, dude. Oh my God, they fucking got him. They got him. You know, I knew when I saw him wearing the same hoodie for months at a time that there was something going on. That explains it.
That will
It's
never
amazing.
happen.
You know, dude, I can't even get that angry.
Can I speak
can't
for a
even get
moment?
that angry.
Can I speak seriously for a moment?
Yeah, no, yeah,
For a moment.
you're right. Yeah, be more serious, right? Don't
You
joke
gotta give me
around
space.
about
let's let Whick try to be serious. Let's let Whick try to be serious.
So, in all seriousness, I do feel bad for you. I feel bad that you got deplatformed and you lost a source of income. That's bad, gang. That's hurtful. It hurts people. We talk about deaths of despair. That's a serious topic, right? That we've talked about on my show before. Deaths of despair. How it's crushing rural communities. How it's crushing the uneducated or undereducated America. Like, this is something that's just putting the squeeze on.
This is so
and one of the
insincere,
reasons,
dude.
No, I'm being
No,
seriously
Whick,
as I can.
what is your connection to any of that stuff other than reading about it?
What do you mean? Like
these
I
communities
live in a
that are
poor
destroyed
rural
or whatever?
community. I live in a
Okay, and
poor
what
rural
interaction
community.
do you have with your
My
community? You don't
family
work in it.
lives
You don't
in a
work
poor
in it.
rural
You don't
community.
work in it. You don't do anything for your community. You
have
sit there and stream
before.
all day.
I have before,
And you
I
don't now. Now you're a
interact with my
shut-in who streams
community.
and does dog panels. You're probably
What
like
are
an
you
embarrassment to
talking
your
about?
community.
Like, what are you talking about? I interact with my community, not just here, but in my family lives all over.
It doesn't count going to get
Okay.
Doritos at the store, dude. That doesn't count.
I understand. I talk to people in real life. I do all the time. Not
Look,
as much as I'd like to be
You're
honest.
getting to the core of what pisses me off. Because when I say that, like, you guys aren't being serious, I know what you're probably thinking is like, oh, well, I want to talk about the funny stuff. Well, okay, the key to all of this is, like, those communities that are suffering and all that, that's a very real fucking thing that's happening. And as far as I could tell, Twitch is a platform it's so interesting. It actually opens us up to have these very, 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 diverse, stratified types of opinions interact with one another and, try to have all these very interesting discussions with people who, I happen to think we're pretty educated generation. Lots of us are college educated, lots of debt, but college educated, very smart people having lots of interesting things to say. There could be things of substance coming from it. The problem is, though, none of the people involved who are big actually have any connection to, like, the real problems in the country. So they're just, these ultra sheltered liberal who sit in their parents' basement and stream and talk about dog fights.
You named 4 people you said were big streamers who did serious shit.
Well, and they all got okay, and that was sufficient before. There were 4, right? And I'm
sure there's more that we don't know.
I'm sure there are, but there were 4 really big ones, right? At least 2 of them are really big. Okay, and now they're all gone. Now they're on a different platform.
Bosch is still here, ain't he?
No, they're all on a different platform. They're not on Twitch anymore. So what I'm saying is now there's sort of like this opportunity on this platform to continue in the tradition of making this serious and making it meaningful and blah, 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 right? And I'm not going to get into my issues with Vosh or whatever, but the point is it would be nice if, given the power vacuum that exists, right, the attention vacuum, that we could fill it with people who are also somewhat serious, even if they're entertaining at the same time. Right? And these are also people who have some semblance of a connection to the actual problems in the country, right? They can relate to real people who are
be the
actually
change
suffering.
You want to see in the world.
That's what I'm trying to do. And you won't bring me on your show.
What you're doing is you're coming in and you're making ridiculous clown-like claims about my community deplatforming you from PayPal. That's what you're doing.
This is an issue. No. Whick, I stream all the time. This is one confrontation I'm having. Okay, in this instance, that's what I'm doing, but that's not what I do every time I stream. I don't talk about you. I talk about all sorts of shit. I actually do a fair bit of reading and try to learn the issues, and I work in my own community. I interact with poor kids who are suffering with mental illness and drug addiction every single day at my job. And I try to take those experiences, learn from the news, synthesize the whole thing, and talk about it, and try to be entertaining at the same time. It's hard to grow on Twitch. I need exposure. How do you do that? Panels. I want to go on your panels. You don't want to talk to me. You say it's not because of communism. I try to go on your show.
You say
it's banned.
But dude, you just made this whole spiel about how my content's worthless. Why would you even want to come on my show?
Because you have an audience.